It's hard to have a fresh start when the past is on your mind. Candace.
I think we have some unfinished business to talk about.
But it's a new me.
You were here before. I couldn't look you in the eye.
Will Bettelheim.
Your credit came back sparkling, Will. But I looked you up. You're not on the socials. Thought you might be some kind of freak.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the LuckyDog podcast. This is your host, Elias Rauch. Today we are discussing You, Season 2. Season 2, Episode 1. A Fresh Start. This podcast is sponsored by EliasRauchMedia.com. Photo, video, digital media. Link in the description. Here's a synopsis. To escape Candace and the ghost of his past, in New York City, Joe changes his name and moves to Los Angeles, vowing to start fresh and change his ways, but then he meets Love, his charming new co-worker. This is also bringing back one of the main characters, Penn Badgley, as Joe Goldberg, and we're introducing a new character named Love, played by Victoria Pedri. I might have got that last name wrong, but we know her best well from being in The Haunting of Hill House as Danny Clayton. And she was also in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood as Lulu. So, let's talk about some of the pros and some of the cons of the first episode of Season 2 of You. Kellie, take it away.
Say, you're not even going to introduce me. I don't know how to feel about this first episode.
Well,
we're not spoiling yet, right?
Not completely. I guess kind of, what was your opinions kind of going into Season 2? We know how Season 1 ended, or Season 1 spoilers will be all right here. Just talking about specifically what happened at the very end. Guinevere Beck was taken out by Joe.
Yeah.
And the blame was all on Uncle Joey from Full House, John Stamos.
He pinned it on the therapist.
And a lot of crazy shit went down the end of the first season. So they do kind of have a big hill to climb when trying to come back with the second season being as strong, you know?
Yeah.
And so one thing that we did notice going into the second season, I don't know if we really were as focused in the first season as being able to dissect the show, but what we realized is it's very much 50-50. 50% about this crazy psychopath, and 50% tries to be a romantic drama or something like that.
I think what I've noticed when I watch shows like this, when something like what happened at the end of Season 1 happens, Season 2, Episode 1, I just want so bad to it just fill in gaps.
Right.
Like, just fill it in, tell us exactly what happened.
Well, there's kind of a time jump.
Exactly what happened with Candace, and exactly what happened, I know.
The old girlfriend.
Yeah.
Season 2, the beginning of it, happens in somewhat of a time jump.
Yeah.
It's did we get an exact time, like a couple months, maybe a year?
It was odd because I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah, well, we're about to get into spoilers for the first episode. So overall, it does have a time jump. The first episode does kind of a recap and a roundup of what happened of the first season at the beginning. So which is,
I got a little confused because I thought the jump back. It also I don't know. It confused me a little bit because then it made it look like it was in
modern time.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's some of the editing within this first episode makes it difficult to exactly tell between fantasy and what actually happened and what's a recap.
Yeah.
And so Joe's talking about it all the time. He's just like, Joe's just like, I remember, Candace telling me this, that, and the other, and it'll do a flashback, and we can't tell if that flashback was real, if it's happening in his head, if it,
I can't tell the time frame of when that happened.
Right, and there's a lot of things that make it difficult to tell what the time shiftiness is. Basically, did this actually happen, or is this in his head?
Yeah.
And when did it happen?
Yeah.
And so, going along with that,
this whole first episode for me, I'm just like, this whole thing was a dream.
It felt like it. I mean, many parts of the first season felt like a dream as well.
Yeah.
Do you remember the way they would shoot? The sequence of Guinevere walking into the library, and he does that. He dresses them down. Basically, he's like, "Oh, you look at the peaches, so you obviously care about no fuzz, or you want extra fuzz," or it's like, it's like
I don't like that. I don't know why.
The way you wear your
it.
bell bottom jeans make you flow like you don't care.
I can't stand
carefree
it.
attitude. It's like he looks at your attire and the way you act, and
he's in his mind. He now knows
everything. He knows. Well, the one thing about it is, we're going to get into spoilers for this first episode, but there is a big chunk of this episode that we're not being shown.
Yeah.
And he's not telling us.
Yeah, until right at the end, right?
He's kind of an unreliable narrator in that sense. Just, the way he first acts, like he's the first time where he's seeing her, that's not the first time he's seen her.
No.
He's been stalking her for a while.
Because it's confusing, because in the very beginning he's like, I'm a new guy, that's not me anymore, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to be infatuated.
And you can see the struggle he has within the narration too.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, look at that, oh wait, I can't do that.
Yeah. But then it's like, but hold on, you didn't stop doing it.
Yeah, you're doing it now, wait a second. He's saying, I can't be this person. Dude, you have somebody locked up in like your second chamber.
And apparently he's taken on that guy's name?
I think, yeah, so I was a little bit confused about that. Is that a former employee of where they're working at?
I thought it...
I thought it was her husband at first.
I thought it was going to be her husband. But
he died of a sickness.
Yeah.
Love's husband died of a sickness.
She said they couldn't figure it out.
Right, it was kind of...
I don't know. I don't like how it just cut that off.
They just threw it in there.
Yeah. It was just like a quick...
Well, they made it seem like there's a possibility that he could have had some involvement. Instead of saying he died of a car wreck or something like that.
Yeah. It's just kind of strange. This first episode's a little strange, and I hope the second episode can kind of... Smooth it out, but reel me in, because otherwise I want to finish the season, but right now...
Right. Well... Right, I've got some pros and I've got some cons we're going to go over, and then we can kind of go into some nitty-gritty things, and we'll be done real quick. But overall, let's talk about some good things real quick. The New York to LA change. The first season was very much a New York show. Yeah. And it felt very much rooted in New York. I'm not sure if it was all shot there, if it was even shot there, but it felt more like a New York show, and the change to LA does feel different, and it feels... in like a different place, and the way that they are acting in this grocery store and everything's non-GMOs, vegan free, it's a little excessive.
It is excessive how they have everyone acting,
and
it's like, oh well, now you're in LA and this is what we do and this is how we act, and you got to start doing it too.
Yeah, you got to do it like we're LA. Everything's LA style, but it didn't bother me because I guess I just like seeing the difference in from the New York to the.
I like the guy that owns his parents own the store or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, are these vegan? And it's like, these are books.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that guy's name. Did we know what that guy's name was?
40.
40? Okay, yeah.
What kind of name is that? That's a number.
40 Quinn. Yeah, that is an interesting name.
40 Quinn.
Yeah, 40 Quinn.
So that's Love's last name is Quinn.
Is it?
Yeah, whenever he was looking her up on Facebook, he put Love Quinn.
Oh shit! So they are. I wonder if that's some sort of. I wonder if that's a spoiler or something like that. I don't think that's a spoiler because on IMDb, I mean.
Both of their last names are Quinn though, so I wonder if she was like married to his brother or something. if Quinn's obviously her married name if she had a husband who died.
That's crazy though. They probably shouldn't have put his last name on there on IMDb if they didn't want us to know.
Yeah.
So sorry about that. Well, anyways.
Oops.
Anyways.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's not our fault. We haven't watched any of the other episodes. Anyways. What were we talking about? Okay, so the pros. The main character, still creepy as fuck. Penn Bagley, playing Joe Goldberg.
What's his name?
Penn
Penn.
Bagley.
Spell his first name.
Penn.
God, you're such odd names.
I like that name. But anyways, he still plays a creepy ass motherfucker.
Yeah.
Maybe even skinnier from the first season.
I don't know. I keep seeing things all of a sudden on social media. Everyone loves the memes, and it's like the only toxic person I want to see, and I'm like, and it's his face, and I'm like, he's
killing people.
He's not even attractive,
and he's a murderer.
He's not just toxic. I don't know. I can't get into the whole culture of now trying to make toxic people, the toxic trait, attractive.
I don't know anybody that tries to do that.
I see it all over social media.
I'm glad I'm not on that side.
Yeah.
Well,
I can't stand it because I'm like, y'all, like it's like one side is fighting to have the toxic trait, like we need to get rid of it. People need to quit being this way, and then it screws up because it's almost like the same women who don't want toxic men are like, but toxic men are always just so great at this and that, and I'm like, gosh, no. No. Like I can't tell you one good thing Joe did in the relationship with Beck. Like, what did he, what was it that he did that made her stay with him once she realized he was toxic? I can't name any.
I felt like it was kind of like a car wreck at the end of their relationship, the way it went out.
Yeah.
So I don't, all I remember is that she was interested in other people, and he was.
I feel like she was interested in other people their entire relationship.
Yeah. She seemed just vaguely interested in him, and he was like obsessed with her. But anyways,
strange.
The montages in this show were pretty interesting and fun to watch. Like him setting up the telescope, and then normally there's like a big twist at the end. Mm-hmm. Him having that. Having the social media stuff explained to him, and then him going to different places,
but he knows about social media.
Yeah, I don't know why he needs that explanation from that girl or anything like that. That didn't really jive for me. Her name's Jenny Ortega as Ellie, and she's been in a lot of shit actually. She's been in Iron Man 3, Elena of Avalor. I don't know what that is. Stuck in the Middle. I think that's a Disney Channel thing. Insidious 2.
Oh, I love Insidious.
Yeah, she's in a lot of stuff, and she has
I kind of want to watch Haunting of Hill House again.
Pretty wide range of stuff. Yeah, this episode was directed by Kevin Rodney Sullivan and written by several fucking people. Sarah Gamble. The book is based on the book by Caroline Kepnes, I think. I don't know. And that book is originally called Hidden Bodies, I believe. And it's also got Kara Corthron as a staff writer, Kellie Breslin as a story editor, and Amanda Johnson Zetterstrom as a story editor as well. So they have a lot of people working behind the scenes on this specific episode. I'm not sure if all of those people are on every episode. But that's why it kind of feels, in my opinion, why it's kind of going in several different directions. Maybe because there's several different people that have had their hands on the script.
Yeah.
Some beautiful cinematography in the city. Mm-hmm. When they show some of.
They had a lot of pretty scenes.
Yeah, wide shots of the
city. I really liked it when they were sitting on the blanket. You could see like over the top of the city.
Looks like stars.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Pretty.
Some of the cons about this episode, sometimes the writing can be a little bit hammy. Like, love, you are not for me. Like, I about shut it off right there. I was like,
Blech.
yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, they literally just fucking wrote that name so they could just do all these stupid puns.
I kind of hate that that's the name of her character.
Yeah,
but okay.
I wish it wasn't. You know, I don't know. Acting can be stiff on the supporting cast. I actually didn't like the character of 40.
No, and the character of the guy that did his interview.
He was a little stiff.
Yeah, he's stiff. It's like they told him you act this way, and that's it.
Yeah, it doesn't feel natural.
No.
It could be the directing. I don't know.
I don't like their characters together either, 40 and that guy. Because it's like a constant, like, you're doing this wrong. And it's like, well, I tried to do what you told me to do. I'm so sorry. And he's like, well, you're going to be fired.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay. It's like every time they're on screen, that's what's happening.
Yeah, it's bad writing.
It's the conversation.
For me, it's bad writing.
Yeah.
Contrived storylines at some points, specifically when they're throwing the phone over the edge, and then when Love is just like taking him into all these other places all around town and showing up at his house. Like, okay, so if
like abrupt.
If you didn't like her at all, that'd be your boss or somebody, your coworker, just showing up at your house. That is some fucking Kramer, Jerry Seinfeld Kramer shit. You know, she's like, Jerry. You know, it's like,
I'm here to show you the town.
It's like,
let's go.
It's like, bitch, it's like 9 p.m. I'm ready for
bed. I'm going to rub
you
down with apple cider vinegar, and we're going to get out here.
Blow you. Or blow on you.
What is that? Where's that? Because she didn't say anything about blowing him.
She said...
Oh. No, the little girl when she was painting her toes, she said blow. She stuck her foot out, as in blow on the toenail polish to dry it.
Still, that didn't need to happen.
That little 14-year-old girl.
They don't need that shit in there at all. I don't know. I don't even know where that's going to go. Maybe we'll talk about a prediction for that. And I mean, do you have a prediction for her? Do you think that something's going to spark? Do you think he's going to cross a line? They're trying to make it kind of like the same reaction like the young kid.
Kind of like
first season.
The relationship he had with...
what was his name?
Pedro,
Petey. I'll find it. I'll find it. No, I'll find it. What is your prediction with it?
Same thing. I think he's Paco. Okay, I think he's kind of gonna just have like a little.
I mean the
innocent but strange relationship with the child.
It's not parental, but it's he has this like guardianship quality.
He kind of like takes her under his wing and was like, because he kept saying, no, she's not my problem. Yeah. No, she's not my problem. Well, then why did you confront her about anything she does? She's a child.
Why did he freak out about him being recorded? Maybe
I thought that was odd. And he was like, who is asking you to record me?
That was a weird.
She's a 14-year-old girl. She records everyone.
He's probably paranoid because he has the guy in that basement or wherever the fuck.
Yeah.
And that Jasper guy that she says showed up at the crib.
Jasper looks like he's part of the fucking mob.
I couldn't tell exactly. I thought he looked like a redneck to me.
I thought he looked like a.
Did he have slick back
like
hair
an Italian or something with his
straight from the Irishman?
Yeah, looked like he was there to fucking hog tie Joe's ass up and haul him off somewhere.
Okay, so let me talk about a couple of more cons of this first episode. The fantasies can be excessive. Like, I can't tell sometimes if these are flashbacks or if they're fantasies and when they're happening. The filters on the screen make it difficult to tell.
Yeah. I don't like that he masturbated at work.
What is it?
I don't. I know.
In a grocery store.
Yeah.
Dude, you work at a grocery store and you're masturbating.
I mean, he's not that he shouldn't masturbate. Everyone should masturbate. I'm
not saying
just that. Go the fuck home and masturbate.
Touching the fruits after it, man. Come on.
Fondling your genitals and then going and touching the books and the fruit and serving shit and touching door handles. People have to touch the door handles, man. Have you ever thought about that walking into a store?
Oh yeah, I don't like touching.
Who's touched this door handle?
I don't touch door handles.
Or this buggy handle?
That's why I don't like touching those.
That's why you make me push the buggy.
Exactly.
So I can get the ball hands.
I don't want.
So I can get someone's testicle sweat on my hands.
Damn, that is some ass. Yeah, they got some ass juice
Probably
on there.
scratched their ass under their pants
Oh,
and then
stop.
started pushing the buggy.
Stop.
It's like that picture I just showed you. It was like,
No, you're gonna ruin it for everybody.
it's funny.
Just people with fucked up teeth.
We're just gonna put this out there. Start asking for plastic utensils at restaurants.
Just bring your own utensils, honestly.
Yeah, put some plastic utensils. I ain't carrying around a metal fork in my bag.
I'd rather do that than eat it after somebody has
Because
nasty ass looking mouth.
every fork in that restaurant has been in someone else's mouth. And those mouths carry germs and cavities.
And deox.
And dicks.
Ew.
There's some baby gravy in there.
Ew, stop. This is completely derailed.
We're all...
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Okay, back on topic.
This is why Kellie is never on any of the podcasts anymore.
Abort.
Get her ass out of here.
Okay, so some of the pacing in the episode, I was bored. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I think you and I both at one point kind of looked down on our phones. I was like...
I looked at her.
Try to switch positions on the bed, like lay in a different way. Like maybe it'll be more interesting if I lay at the foot of the bed.
If you get closer to the television, it might be more compelling. No,
Yeah.
it's not. Yeah, I was bored at some points, and that's kind of when it leans into more of the romantic stuff and the
Someone brought something to my attention though.
what?
When he's going to start doing his sneaky shit.
Wait, don't. Is this a spoiler? It sounds like a spoiler.
I don't. Yeah, maybe
Who's
that's-
someone?
I just saw it on social media.
Yeah, that sounds like a spoiler. You better.
Okay.
Okay. So I had a handful of things just wanted to talk about from the episode. Throwing Ellie's phone over the roof. First of all, it was a weird edit. I mean, how the fuck did he Batman it all the way up to the roof in like 2 seconds? And this, he was like walking on the street and then like, whoosh, who told you? He's like, who sent you?
Who sent you?
Yeah, I was like, what the hell's going on? And so that was a weird edit.
I mean, he's lanky. He's probably pretty quick.
Well, he's like Mr. Fantastic, just whoosh, whoosh. Love doesn't seem to act like a real person.
No.
This, I understand.
Very
that
fabricated and
she seems
like
more
a
like
fairy tale.
Yeah, she seems like a dream. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with her.
Yeah. She's completely just, no emotion about her husband dying.
Well, she was a little bit, teary-eyed, but I mean, not to the point where. Well, she doesn't feel like a real person. The first thing she says to him is, "Does this peach look like a butt?" It's like, what? And the more that they talk and have conversations, they have, I think, decent chemistry. Mostly because the actress playing it is just fantastic, I think, and she's delivering some really flat material.
Yeah, and maybe it's not her fault.
It's not.
The writing.
I don't think it's her fault. I think it's just they giving her. There's nothing interesting about her, to be honest.
A prediction I have for her. I kind of hope she's a weirdo because it's kind of. I mean,
I
outside
would
of her
love
being
it if she was a killer,
being blank, she's kind of. I can see Joe getting into his whole momentum thing that he does, and then it flipping and her being like, "Fucker, I'll kill you." Like, you know what I mean?
I would love it if she was as bad, if not worse than him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you thought, motherfucker.
Yeah. That would be awesome if it was like Joe season 3, and it's just like at the very end of season 2, it's just like he's stuck in the glass.
Yeah. She's got him
Glass
trapped
box.
in the glass, and he's like got his hands on the glass, making his little pitiful face, and she's just standing there looking at him.
Eyes.
Yeah, and she's just standing there looking at him with that creepy fucking grin.
I would love it because we can bring back the Hill House costumes and crank it up.
Yeah.
I like it. I think that we might have a pretty good prediction for that. Young Joe and Mom was kind of.
Is that what that was?
Yeah, I thought that. Yeah, that was.
I thought that was a random.
No.
Scene of random characters.
That was him and his mother, and apparently his mother just leaves him at.
This
on the
is why
boardwalk.
he has mommy issues.
I understand that.
Abandonment issues.
I just the execution of that scene was not good in my opinion.
I think that might have been a moment, but right before that, I was looking down at my phone.
So, love showing you at the house is. Sorry. Love showing up at the house is excessive at his apartment.
How would she even know where he lived?
Yeah, they were I don't even know. from what we had saw, it looked like they had only known each other for less than a week.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want any of my coworkers showing up at my house.
Like, if before you and I met the way we met, if I would have walked up to you, like, in Walmart or something and been like, hey, does this peach look like a butt? What would you have said?
If I would have just gotten that from okay, let's just say it was from anyone in the store, because they're trying to play it as if you don't know the person.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I guess.
And you'd probably continue with your shopping and keep moving.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be like, first of all, that's not a question that is pertaining to, like, the safety or the edibility of the peach.
It's just a funny
one-line opener, I guess.
Yeah.
And really, you don't want to care. You don't care to talk about the peach because obviously it does look like a butt.
They all look like butts.
It's the point of the line is so that you're entering a conversation.
Why couldn't it have been an eggplant?
Okay, that's it. Now we're back on that again. All right, we're going back. Let's see. Love takes Joe to many romantic places, and at the time we thought she was still married, which felt weird, but now we know she's not.
I felt that. Did you not feel it?
That she was not married?
No, that she, as soon as he said or saw on her Facebook, married July 7th or whatever it said, I thought immediately, like, in the very next scene where she's, like, popping up or doing something with Joe, she, like, kisses him on the cheek or something.
Yeah, at the DMV.
I was like, her husband's obviously not around. I thought immediately, like, he's obviously not in the picture.
Oh. Well, I mean, I just wanted to know why he wasn't asking more questions about her husband, or, like, I guess her. I feel like I really don't know anything about her. It's only the first episode, obviously, but
I feel like
for as much as they're hanging out, it's
actually, he sees her Facebook where it says married.
She likes food.
Yeah. He sees her Facebook where it says she's married, and then he goes home. It gets dark, and she shows up at his house. Because then he says, not newlywed, but he called her something, pertaining to her being a wife, and she's at his house. And it that happened way too quick. Like, we didn't get anything in between. It would have been cool, or I think it would have been a lot more like season 1 had he seen the Facebook, seen that she was married, and then we get like a couple days in between of him figuring out that the husband's not there.
Right.
Versus her doing this unrealistic,
inorganic, plot contrived, showing up at the house. Like, I believe that they would probably do all that, and it was fun watching them do that and have a connection. I don't think it would happen within the span of the time that we were shown.
No.
And that's because the episode, obviously, they needed a montage between that.
Yeah.
They needed like a week of him working or something.
Yeah.
And maybe bumping into her, goofing around, and then she shows up at his house.
Yeah.
I think that would have made it space out.
Like him talking to himself like he does, like, but I haven't been able to pinpoint your husband or what he is or who he is and blah, blah, blah. And they didn't do that.
Yeah, the one part about the end of this episode is I feel like it's kind of a it's not exposition dump, but it's like all shown.
Yeah.
But I still feel like I'm confused.
Yeah. I'm confused why he had to see that she was married, and then the very next scene we find out her husband's dead. Because you remember with Benji, he follows Benji. Mm-hmm. He goes and like interviews Benji's company. He's stalking his Facebook, and he's doing all this stuff to find out who and what Benji is.
Yeah.
And then...
And he ends up just being like a nobody, really.
Yeah. But it's like
And he gets killed.
Yeah.
Do we remember how he's killed?
He's allergic. He's allergic to something. He's allergic to nuts.
Finds out their weakness.
Yeah.
So we need to look out for any people that might be on the chopping block. Who do you think's on the chopping block right now?
Obviously the guy in the cage.
Yeah, Will.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a killer, why even keep the guy alive?
Yeah, I don't understand Joe's motives behind putting people in that cage. It's like, we know you're going to kill him now. Like, we know once someone goes in that cage, they're going to die because he can't let them out of the cage.
Right. Yeah, it's like, I don't even understand. I guess he hasn't figured out a way to kill him yet. I don't know. Any predictions after, I guess, the chopping block would be Love, maybe probably the guy in the cage. Guy in the cage, probably number one. Maybe Ellie, but I don't know why he would.
Who's Ellie?
Or his landlord. I think his landlord's going to find out some bad shit.
I don't know.
You know,
I think the girl will. Maybe the girl and maybe the relationship with her is not going to be quite like it was with Paco. And she's going to be like, well, I Googled you, or I Googled this, and I Googled that, and your real name's not Will, or something like that, you know?
That'd be smart, yeah. And then she could show her sister.
Yeah.
What if he had to take out both of them? That'd be crazy.
Damn it. Not the girl.
Yeah.
Not the 14-year-old.
Yeah, it's not looking great.
It's. I think it's funny. I don't know if it probably doesn't have anything to do. It's probably not the same. But he kills Peach in the first season.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he hates Peach, and the whole season is about him and Peach hating each other. And him.
Does this Peach look like a butt?
Yeah. And then she's like, "Does this Peach?" Like, it could have been any fruit. You know?
Yeah, it might have been a callback.
That's funny.
Yeah. So, I'm kind of bummed we're not gonna get the store guy again. You know, his buddy that worked at the bookstore.
Yeah, he was good.
He was fun.
We don't get to know anything about him.
I'm assuming not, because he's just gonna work at the bookstore forever. Ethan, the only good guy on this show,
who started dating Blythe. One of the nurses I work with, her daughter's name's Blythe, and she's very, very pretty. Very pretty girl.
All Blythes are.
Blythe
for life. Okay, so anything else?
Nah.
Did you notice that it's like blurry as fuck at the very tops of the corners of the screen?
Is that on purpose?
I don't know. I think it's a stylistic thing they do, but it drives me up the wall.
You don't like it?
It feels like a post-editing thing that they do. Like, instead of making it like blurred out like a bokeh effect, you know?
Yeah.
So that it like, you know, it
shows what you're focusing on.
Yeah.
Shows what you should be focusing on.
Like this, like
yeah.
Having Joe just standing in the middle, like randomly at the top it'll be blurred out, except for, you know, everything will be not blurred out, and then something at the top.
Yeah.
Just look at it. I don't know if anyone else sees it, but it drives me a little bit up the wall, because it shows me that they're probably doing a lot of this focusing effect and shallow depth of field and focusing post. You know, in post.
Mm-hmm.
Which is just driving me up the wall. I don't know. Maybe it's normally done in post.
Get rid of it.
I
He hates it.
Yeah. He hates it. All right. Thank you for watching, listening. Season 2, Episode 1 of You. At this time, we might just go through and try to just binge the majority of the season, and then maybe do a checkup here or there, but probably won't do an episode by episode for this. It's just doesn't deserve it.
No, not right now.
It doesn't need that kind of
attention,
I guess. Yeah,
recognition.
But the predictions sure are fun.
The predictions are fun. I really want to. I really hope my prediction is right about Love.
What was it?
That she's crazy.
Oh yeah.
She's like a super Joe.
She's a super Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So far, right now, there's nothing that interesting behind her, except for maybe that she might be.
Well, I felt like there's nothing interesting in the beginning of season 1.
Uh-huh.
There was nothing interesting about Joe other than the fact he was the obvious stalker.
Well, that's interesting to me.
Is it?
Seeing a guy act like a crazy person, you know, just doing all these crazy methods to get out of these.
Well, I remember season 1. I was so stuck on like the things he's doing are not interesting. They're scary as fuck.
Oh yeah, I mean, like attacking some of these people, breaking into houses, and
well, no, his obsession with Beck is, to me, because remember there was.
Well, it's problematic, is what it is. But
yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching LuckyDog Podcast. Check out all the links below. EliasRauchMedia.com, photo, video, digital media. We have all the lovely podcasts in the podcast feed and the library. Check out Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all the social medias, Instagram. Comments, questions, concerns, the LuckyDog Podcast at gmail.com. To support the podcast, paypal.me/the LuckyDog Podcast. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining me, Kellie.
Yes, sir.
And take it easy.
Peace.
I won't let this situation go bad. Nothing is okay without you, love.
Whatever makes you happy, whatever you want. You're so very special. I wish I was special.